Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to a gorgeous summer's day here in Seoul. Guys, today I'm going to be checking into the Signiel, which is the hotel right up starting in the 79th story behind me at the Lotte World Tower. It's one of the highest hotels in the world and also one of the best, so I can't wait. So let's jump on in, get checked in, we'll check out the room and all of the facilities together. First things first, let's talk hotel location. The Signiel Hotel is nestled nicely within the central city area, just near Lotte World. It's got a number of large malls and eating spots just in the immediate area, and it works really nicely. Quite close also to a number of public transport links. In terms of distance from the airport, it's a fair old way. It's around 90 or so minutes by cab. They do offer a transfer service over to Incheon Airport. It's quite an attractive drive just along the Han River, which is indeed where the hotel is set. On that morning that I arrived, I got an Uber and it was around half the price, if not slightly cheaper, than the transfer that they were offering. The Lotte World Tower, which the hotel is set in, is 555 metres tall. It's got 123 different floors, and it's crazy to think that the hotel was nestled in some of the absolute topmost stories of it, so I couldn't wait to get in and see exactly what it was going to be like. From the moment that I arrived, the staff were absolutely fantastic. You arrive into what is quite a grand entranceway. The actual lobby itself is way up on the 79th floor, so you're then escorted into an elevator, which takes no time at all to get you right up into the skies, where I started the check-in experience. As I arrived up to the lobby, I must say the views already were pretty special. I was very early for the check-in. The staff very kindly allowed me through into the lounge where you could chill out and wait for the room itself to be ready. They had a selection of free drinks and also free food into the evenings. They also did some bits around alcoholic drinks and general entertainment. It was a really amazing space and made for a nice start into the hotel. I sat back with a couple of drinks and enjoyed what was an absolute phenomenal view out towards the Han River. This was a space that was exclusively made available for hotel guests. I wasn't expecting it at all. I've never seen this available in any of the luxury hotels that I stayed in, so it was a really nice touch. There was also a business centre as part of it, and talk about a desk with a view. It was absolutely phenomenal. By early afternoon, my room was ready, and that meant that I could head up to the 89th floor where I'd be staying to check out the room for the very first time. I couldn't wait. I'd seen so many phenomenal pictures on the internet as to how exactly this hotel was going to be, so let's jump on in and check out the room together. As I headed in, one of the aspects that became immediately apparent, as you do so often see with hotels of this standards, it was the abundance of storage. Plenty of options as soon as you walked in, and that continued right the way throughout the room. I quite liked this double-sided wardrobe just here. You'll see in a moment how that opens up into the bathroom as well. Next up, let's check out that bathroom. It was by far and above one of the standout features of the hotel for me. And the story of the bathroom was marble, marble, marble. It was absolutely gorgeous. I've featured some really quite wonderful hotel bathrooms and indeed rooms on the channel so far, but this very much topped them all. I loved how it was decked out. Yes, it was modern, but it had some quite nice classical touches alongside as well. Although there indeed was an abundance of marble, it wasn't gaudy like some hotel rooms are, as you see. I just thought it was absolutely phenomenal. There was this big separate shower and bath area to the rest of the bathroom itself. The toilet then went off onto another side. There was then his and her sinks as well. The whole thing together was just fantastic. Particularly liked the inclusion of the toiletries. These are done by Duptyque, I think the brand are called. This is something that Qatar Airways use for their business class amenity kits as well. There was then a separate door that was leading out directly into the bedroom itself. We'll actually loop back just now, check out a little bit more around the storage into the bathroom, and then we'll then head out into the room back through the door in which we came. One thing that I particularly liked with all of these additional doors opening up and through meant that all of the focus of the room was on the view, which of course is what you're really paying for just here in this extra special hotel. Leading out into the room itself, I really liked how it's put together. It was fresh, it was modern, but it had that wonderful touch of luxury with, of course, that huge great window leading out to the view, which we'll check out in just a moment. So I was saying that at this moment in time, I just went for one of the standard rooms in the hotel. This is the one that's featured just here. Of course, upgrading beyond this, it gets more and more special, and that's something that I'd love to check out one day. One aspect that I always appreciate in hotel rooms of this type is modern touches, be it the lighting, be it the charging. The hotel had you very well covered on this front, which was superb. Now, when it came to revealing that fantastic view, you didn't have to pull back the drapes yourself. Oh no, not in a hotel of this quality. Simply just a case of pressing the button. It did take me a moment to work out exactly which one for the inner drapes and the outer drapes, but as soon as I worked that out, they then gently pulled back to reveal the most phenomenal view out over the city of Seoul. There's a number of great vistas that could be enjoyed directly from the hotel. My view was out over the Olympic Park, and that was quite a nice one to have. One thing that I love about Seoul is all of the mountains that surround the city. On day 2, the views were even better, so it was my pleasure to bring some of those to you just now. Shortly after arriving into the room itself, I received this beautiful little welcome pack from the hotel's management. It had all of the information that you'd need as part of the stay. In a lot of lesser hotels, these are the sort of things you get thrust upon you. As part of the check-in experience, you have to lug around lots of pamphlets around the opening times of the gyms and other facilities. It was nice to have these delivered into the room, just so you had a bit of an overview of everything that was going on. As part of the hotel, there was a really fantastic spa. Unfortunately, I didn't have the chance to try it out on this occasion, but we will head off in just a moment and see some of the facilities. Before we do so, however, let's touch briefly on the dining experiences. Now, first things first, I've never in my life seen such a large menu, be it even an in-room dining menu. It was absolutely massive. This did echo some of the other dining options that were available throughout the hotel, so I think they just kept it really nice and consistent, whether you wanted to go down to the restaurant to have it, or indeed to have it in the room. We'll do a little bit on the dining a little bit later. This was also then a selection that was dropped off into the room to help to make cocktails a little bit later into the evening. The hotel even had their own branded Bordeaux wine, which I thought was incredibly fancy. They then had some mixers and then also some spirits as part of the minibar, so you could indeed make your own cocktails up as well. As you'd expect, tea and coffee making facilities were available. There was then also a selection of complimentary waters as well. Next up, we'll head up to the 85th floor and check out some of the additional hotel facilities. As part of the 85th floor, they had a large gym complex, some additional exercise studios coming off it. The gym itself was wonderfully large, had some really nice modern machinery, looking out over, of course, those wonderful views. There was also a pool area and spa that was up here. Didn't get a chance to film either of those, but in terms of facilities, they were all wonderfully quiet and looked absolutely brilliant. I'd love to come back, stay a little bit longer, and really do these justice. And after all of that exploring of Seoul, they had a turn down service into the evening. I thought this was a wonderful little touch, and it rounded off what was a brilliant first day at the hotel. Now, whilst I'm not usually one for hotel breakfast, we're going to check out some of the catering at the hotel and grab some lunch at one of their restaurants. So let's head on down and see exactly what that's like. My search that afternoon led me to the Lounge. This is a restaurant that's located neatly within the hotel lobby, so it benefits from those fantastic views out of the window. In terms of the menu, just like the room service menu, this was absolutely massive, which was convenient because I was actually looking for something with a bit more of a brunch style of flavour on that afternoon. Thankfully, they had a number of good selections, so I sat back with a fresh pineapple juice and enjoyed those wonderful views before the food arrived. In the end, I opted for a club sandwich. Just like everything else at the hotel, it was wonderfully put together, particularly like the presentation just there of the side salad. Really hope today's video was interesting for you. If you're keen to stay on the topic of absolute luxury, I've recently flown with British Airways in their first class, and I'll put a link to that video in the bottom left just now. Otherwise, all that's left for me to say is to thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll see you in another one real soon.